I was going to get it reference back through it. All right, we're back on the record this morning in Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Shelby Shell, Harlan Circuit Court, number 13CR0076. Mr. Shell is present in the courtroom with counsel. Commonwealth is present. So we're still in the defense's case in chief. Defense, call the next witness, please. Oh, I'm sorry. We need a jury, don't we?
But also,
boy, yeah,
I think we told our witnesses 9.
I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Yeah, we might have to check and see if they're here, because I think we originally told them 9 when we were asking them to come.
All right, please do, and let's go off the record. Well, is the jury coming in now, or let's? All right, just a minute. All right, just a minute. All right, just a minute. We have a bench conference here. Come on up. All right. Yes, sir.
I'm going to talk to my team about a potential solution. We may just let it go. But Mr. Shell told me that while he was pulling in, some jurors saw him in the back of the cruiser. I don't think it's an issue right now, and I'm going to talk to my team about if we can propose a solution. But I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention.
Okay, I don't think that. I mean, obviously, he's in custody.
Right.
I mean, and that's not a secret. And he was in the cruiser in street clothes, I'm sure. I
don't know about that, but yes. I mean, I just wanted to put it on the record, so if it becomes an issue,
sure,
we know about it.
That doesn't sound like one, but anyway, if it becomes one, it's on the record. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Okay. Okie doke. Are your witnesses here?
Yes.
Are your witnesses here?
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring the jury on in then. All right. All rise for the jury. For the juror. I assume some more will be following you in shortly.
Yeah, it should be.
I'll start with that. All right, you see, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I hope you had a nice evening and some rest. Anything to report to me? All right, okay. No response. We'll move on. And still in the defense's case in chief. Will the defendant please call the next witness?
I believe Lucinda Lay is here. Let me check and make sure that she's up on the elevator.
All right, we should call your witness. Are you calling this witness?
The defense calls Lucinda Lay, yes, Your Honor.
Lucinda
Lay.
Lay. All right, ma'am, you're Lucinda Lay?
Yes, sir.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you give in this trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a seat over here in the witness stand and speak loudly and clearly into that it's a little flat black microphone on the
thing?
bar there in front of you. Right, no, this one right here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Right here?
Mm-hmm, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All
thank you
right.
very much.
All right, Mrs. Karen.
Okay, good morning. Could you state your name for the jury and for the clerk to make sure she gets it written down right?
My name is Lucinda Lay.
And that's L-A-Y.
Lay, correct.
We're asking today how you knew Ernie Shell.
I met him through a temp agency. We actually rode to work back and forth when I first started at ISIN.
Were you ever in a romantic relationship with Ernie Shell?
Yes, no.
And what was his reputation for honesty?
I know of none. I don't believe he was honest at all.
And why do you not believe he was honest?
Because he would use my car, and I let him because he would drop me off at work, and supposedly he was working. He wasn't. I don't know where he was. I never knew where he was. I would come home to an empty tank of gas, and I asked him, I said, where's the gas? I don't know. I said, where'd you go? I had to go to this store, I had to do this, that. I said, I thought you worked. Well, yeah, I worked a little. I said, well, where do you work? Well, that's not important. I said, you're using my car. How's that not important? It's just a very, very bad situation.
And in addition to his issues with honesty, did he ever threaten you or your family?
Yes.
And can you give more information about that?
If I wouldn't let him have what he wanted or have his own way, especially when it came to my car, he wanted my car. He threatened to kill me. I made him really super mad one night, and I love my granddaughter very, very much. And she was very small. She was around 2 or 3 years old. And he said that he would hang her up by the ceiling fan and choke her to death unless I did what he told me. I messed up. I gave him a ride from home. My car blew up. If I had any
Will
idea.
counsel approach, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
I'm sorry.
I apologize for that, and I apologize for the emotional outburst.
That's all right. So, I confess I'm a little baffled by this testimony that there seems to damage your own client.
No, she's talking about Ernie.
She's talking about Ernie.
Oh, is that who you said? I
Yes.
couldn't hear at first.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry.
I might re-ask who she's talking about, just for everyone's sake.
I apologize. I thought you
Yeah,
said
for a second
Shelby.
there, that would be weird.
I was a little, it was a little strange, but she was talking about Ernie.
Yeah, she's talking about
All
Ernie.
right, all right.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm sorry, Ms. Lay, and it may be because it's early and we're all still trying to listen to what you're saying, but you're talking about Ernie Shell, right?
Correct.
Okay. You do know Shelby Shell?
Yes, I do.
And how do you know Shelby?
I know Shelby through his brother.
And what kind of car did you own in 2013?
2012 Dodge Caliber.
And that was the car that Ernie was borrowing from you?
Correct.
Um, Do you recall any conversations that Ernie may have had with Jimbo Collins? About setting up Ernie Shell, or about setting up Shelby
Your Honor,
Shell?
we approach.
Yes.
We had a conversation yesterday about some of these questions where we asked
Not
to
the
make sure that it was in person, not on the phone. Okay? So my objection is, one, she's not established she even knows who Jimbo Collins is. Two, I'm asking you to direct her this time to make sure that it wasn't a phone conversation she overheard. Is this in person? That she's witnessed herself. And then to not steer into the specific content of it.
Yeah, you're loading up the question with specific content, and so I'm going to admonish the jury to ignore the question. Be careful how you
I'll
approach
just
it,
try to set up.
and be
there's a few
careful with
questions.
hearsay. I mean,
Yes.
that's all. All right, the jury is admonished to ignore the question, and Mr. Chairman, you can begin again.
Okay. Probably should have asked a few questions before that. So did you know James Jimbo Collins?
I met him through Ernie Shell. I didn't know him. I just know him through Ernie Shell.
Did you ever ride in a car with Jimbo and Ernie?
It was all in my car. I never rode with Jimbo in there.
So you were never in the car with both of them at the same time? That didn't.
Well, if Jimbo was in my car, then yes. But as far as being in Jimbo's vehicle, no, I never was.
Okay. So you don't remember giving a ride to Jimbo and Ernie at any point? I know it's been several years, so that's.
Let me think one moment, please. Yes, it has been 7 years. Honestly, I don't ever remember doing that. Is there any other, something else that maybe could spark my memory, like
I'm trying to find
something so I
something
can,
to refresh your
Please.
recollection. Is that, yeah.
it's been an extremely long time.
She said she couldn't remember. So let's go on.
I have a little something to help her.
Your Honor, may we
Wait a
approach?
minute, come on up here.
She said she didn't remember, so I just have like a summary to help her.
This even is headed Laura Karen, DPA. This is nothing that
No,
this
you
woman
can't do
has-
that.
It's an email
She stated on the
from
record.
her conversation.
Let's see what you got.
She has no recollection whatsoever.
Miss Karen, let me see what you got.
Okay. That's why you have to refresh it.
Let me
So
see.
you can see.
I mean, argue, guys, and I'm arguing too. Okay? So just tell them what you are. All right? We'll see each other after this.
We will. There's well, we might not actually, sorry, Donna. It's a summary of a conversation that Ms. Lay had with our investigator, and we're gonna call our investigator later, so if she doesn't recall,
She doesn't recall. This isn't
She's
something
allowed to refresh her
memory.
recollection.
No. No. This is the legal memo from your office.
it's summarizing a conversation that she had with Jessica.
Mm-mm.
I believe she later signed an affidavit, I just didn't have it in my notebook, so.
If she can't remember, she can't remember, and that's that.
Thank
I
you.
also have a letter that she wrote to Shelby. Would you consider that?
A letter that she
for
wrote to who?
refresher? To Shelby?
If you bring it over here and show it to me first.
Okay. I'm not sure it has I'm trying to find where it has the trigger for that memory, so let me get there. You know, I'm just not gonna worry about it.
Okay, move on.
People that
Let's
can
go.
talk about that. So just to make sure I ask that question, you knew Ernie Shell to be untruthful,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's your testimony here today.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I have for you. But the Commonwealth may have some questions.
Ross,
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You were asked earlier if you had a romantic relationship with Ernie Shell, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You said yes, no. What does that mean?
That means I was in an abusive relationship, sir.
excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
That's what that means?
Yes,
I
sir.
couldn't hear the answer. I couldn't hear the answer.
That means I was in an abusive relationship.
So is it safe to say your relationship with Ernie Shell did not end well?
No, sir, it did not. He threatened to throw me away in a mental home. He said, I'll make sure you'll never get out.
Okay. Do you like Ernie Shell?
Sir, I do not like Ernie Shell at all no more. When I first met him, I thought he was a really wonderful person. I thought it was great. I was working 7 nights a week at Ison as a temp agency through APS.
So
We
you
used the one
don't
car.
like Ernie Shell?
At
Yes
this
or no?
moment,
That's a yes or no question.
like in what way? Explain.
The common lay meaning
As a
of
person,
like?
yes, I like him as a person, yes. As what he did to me, no, sir, I don't.
So earlier when you said you didn't like him, now you're saying you do like him.
I'm saying as a person, I like him.
As a person, you like him, but what he did to you, you don't like him.
Correct.
So that changes what you stated earlier about not liking him, generally.
I've been taught this, and in 7 years I've had to learn this, that you have to learn to love and forgive, because if you don't, your life will never be right. So I've had to learn to forgive Ernie Shell.
So you do like him now?
I have to.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Can you redirect?
There's no redirect, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused?
She can be excused.
All right, ma'am, you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, you may call your next witness.
Do we have a moment to see if our witnesses have arrived? I know the timeline is a little off this morning.
Excuse me?
Do we have a moment to check and see if the witnesses have arrived?
Okay, I thought you did.
Well, we also have one more. I'm just gonna, give me a minute.
All right. All right.
May we approach?
I don't know if David Weedman is here yet. He was supposed to be transported from DOC.
Do we have a transport from prison? David Weedman?
Okay. Need to check on that. I have one more witness that's not here. I'm going to check with Jessica and see if they're texted or anything to say they're on the way. And then we have Jessica. So possibly 3, probably 2 more witnesses, and then we're finished up.
Is Shelby testifying?
That is not my plan.
Okay.
What'd you say?
If he does testify, I would request a brief recess so that I can prepare I've got a cross prepared. I just want to have it ready.
All right.
We'll have a brief recess for him to reconsider. That's what she's up with. You didn't hear her, I assume. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the people. Oh.
Can we go
No,
back
I-
and sit down while we're waiting?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think we're doing anything
Yeah.
right
No,
now.
I was looking for it.
Excuse me, y'all. Can I check something right quick?
No, sir. Not right now. No, sir.
Can I approach y'all? Say something, please?
Sir, right now, you need to be speaking through your lawyers right now, sir, so please restrain yourself. Somebody here. All right. Counsel approach. Here.
And I'm here.
Weedman, you mean? There's nobody here.
Are they on their way?
Hmm? I don't know. I don't have a clue.
The transport order was put in.
Right.
I made sure that it was in that day.
Do we want to take a break and call and just see if anybody's actually bringing him? I think we can move on. There's
Give
some
someone else we can do
demonstrative
now, and then
stuff
we'll take a
I can
break.
do without. I need to check with Jessica, who also left the courtroom, so I need to go check with her. She's the next,
These
either the next
witnesses are gonna have to
witness or
hang
the final
around.
witness.
They're gonna be here and hang around.
Yeah.
My suggestion is if we're gonna have a break, we get the jury out of here. Do they have a comfortable place to sit? I mean, are they going out there to sit on those hard benches?
They do not have
That's
a
terrible.
place to sit.
I know.
And then what I was told yesterday, and please, I'm saying this for the record, has nothing to do with counsel or intentional anything. Nobody knows this, or it's not come to our attention. But I think there's been some intermingling just because of where they're situated between the jury and witnesses, which is never a wonderful thing.
I do think that could have happened on breaks, because we have witnesses that were in the conference rooms, and the jury would have walked past them, and when they first got here in the morning, I don't know if they immediately went to the conference room.
Right. But let's just keep in mind that when we are on a break, these jurors are sitting on
A
little
lot of
benches.
there are enough
I know.
chairs.
I know there. Yeah. So where are we going right now?
Judge, I don't think they have a
Well, I think there's an order to bring him here, and nobody knows if he's either on his way or if they ignored your order. But those are the only two options, right? Because he's not here. So we need to find that out first. We also have an investigator that can testify, and then we are basically done.
Okay.
But I would
Let's
have
take a
some
break, and
objections.
you
Yeah.
call and see
We don't know.
if he's on his way or where they are, what they're doing.
Do you want to call, since it's your order, they're either following or not following?
Do what?
Do you want to call, since it's either your order that they're following or not following?
I don't know who to call.
Okay.
I don't have a clue.
I think it's just Big Sandy, like,
Huh.
or Little Sandy, but I think, is the number on the order?
I don't have any.
I'll get the number.
As we're all aware, that's not this will not be the first time that an order has not been, when it comes to the transport of.
I know. We've had transport
Right,
orders
but-
go south before.
I guess then we would have to put together what we think his testimony would be and enter that in the record so the jury could hear that, or we would ask that to be done if they ignored your order, but they may be on their way because I don't even know where Little Sandy is. So let me make some calls.
I'm gonna have some things to say about that, but we'll cross that
And-
bridge when we get to it. Hopefully it won't.
What's an avowal? It wouldn't be in front of the
Yeah.
jury, so.
Well, he's
Yeah.
in front of the jury.
I think it would go to.
If you give me a phone number, I'll call and find out what, and a prisoner is given, he has a number,
Yes.
and a convict number, an ID number.
But right now, we're letting the jury go.
Yeah,
So
give
we're
him a
in a
break,
break.
and then so I can make that call, and then we'll get right back in here, all right? Gentlemen, I need to make a call about, something, and so we're gonna give you a 10-minute break. Same admonition as usual, don't talk about this among yourselves, don't form any opinions, and, don't let anyone approach you or talk to you about it, and if someone does, please report back to me. Thank you. You're silent, bringing the numbers back. On the record now, yes, sir. Who's this? All right, okay, that's fine, yeah, sure. Okay. We'll be ready to go in just a moment. It's a beautiful day outside. I understand it's supposed to get up in the 70s today. Spring's upon us.
Storms tonight. It's about time.
Yeah. Storms tonight.
Huh?
Yeah.
Storms tonight.
They're
Storm
getting-
tonight?
Yeah, they're
Really?
getting severe storms. High
Well,
winds.
it's spring.
Yeah.
I'm glad that mud in my yard is almost dry.
Yeah.
Get some more water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. All right, the defendant, Mr. Shell, is back in the courtroom, and we're jury seated, and we're ready to go. Would you call your next witness, please, Mr. Simon?
Your defense called Jessica Wells.
Jessica West?
Wells?
Wells, all right. Ma'am, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Would you have a seat over here in the witness stand, and please speak loudly and clearly.
Morning, Ms. Wells.
Good morning.
Could you tell the jury your name and a little bit about your job and what you do and what?
My name is Jessica Wells. I'm an investigator for the Public Defender's Office or the Department of Public Advocacy. I work on the defense team.
You're an investigator for the defense team of Mr. Shell, is that right?
Yes, exactly.
And so you've done some investigation.
Yes.
Could you tell the jury about some of the things that you do in your job? You collect some records, is that right?
Yes, I collect records. I make sure that they're certified by either the company or the location that they are coming from to verify that they were created by that department.
And you talk to witnesses?
Yes, I've talked to witnesses as well and do interviews with them.
Do you get any training as part of your job?
Yes, we do several trainings throughout the year from our department in Frankfurt. We also do a 1 week full-length training on basic interview techniques and the basics of the job, really.
As part of that record collection, do you ever, in your job, have to obtain phone records?
Yes, we do obtain phone records on many different cases, not just cases of this level.
Could you tell the jury a little bit about the types of records that you can get, that you're able to get?
You can get records from phone companies as far as call logs, just like basically if you can request them as well as yourself, except they're certified when they come to me. You can get cell tower data through different protocols, I guess, different processes that you can get that from.
So fundamentally, you can get who called who
Yes.
and when,
Yes.
right? But you can also get, I heard you say, cell tower data.
Yes.
Could you tell the jury what that is?
Cell tower data is basically, it kind of like, I guess, pings, locations of certain cell phones at certain
Your Honor,
times.
we approach.
Getting data and getting certified records of documents is far from having the requisite authentication level to talk about what those things are, what they mean, what they do. If she has retrieved certified records, she can state she retrieved them and certified, but she can't talk about the specifics within those records because she is not qualified to do so. She doesn't work for the phone company. She doesn't have knowledge of the contents thereof. She's not in any way even tangentially associated with those fields. Having had to do cell phone things many times in my career as a prosecutor, I understand that in order to get people to talk about that, they have to know and work and have experience in the field of pinging and how cell phone towers work and what this means and whatnot. If she has certified records of things, I have no objection to the introduction, but her telling a jury what these things are with no knowledge.
Is this about the phone log in the absence of that?
Your Honor, I was only going to ask 2 or 3 more questions about this whole topic, but if the court wants me to get into her experience in getting these data and her experience in knowing what the data contains and how to decipher it, I can. But this line of questioning is only going to last 3 more questions.
Well, let me ask you.
So
You said
it's up to you.
What the data? Does she have information about these phone logs? Is that what we were discussing before when
Yes.
in the motion about the phone conversation not matching the logs? Is that what we're getting to?
A little bit. But I'm just going to tell the court where this is going. Eventually, I'm going to ask her if she tried to obtain those records in this case. And how she wasn't able to obtain them because after a while that data goes away, and the steps that she took to get that.
Well, I think given that she doesn't even have them, I think we get straight to that point. She is not somebody that can talk about the
She is
contents of
somebody.
things.
She just is somebody. I didn't ask her about those qualifications because I'm not going to ask her about deciphering the data that we don't have. But if you want me to talk about how she does have that experience and she does have that knowledge, I can. It'll just be 10 or 15 more questions.
Did she go? Wait, let's back up a minute. She went. Did she go to the service provider and get the?
Yes.
That's all we need.
That's my 3 more questions.
That's all we need, really.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
All
that's
right.
what I'd ask. We get right to that. Go to the search bar and give it.
Okay.
They're
Rather
certified?
confuse it with pinging. Yeah. Okay, but yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead, Josiah.
I'm just going to get right to it. Did you try to obtain cell phone data for any phones in this case?
Yes, I did attempt to get the cell tower data for the phone that was taken from Shelby Shell. The provider for that phone was...
Okay, I'm going to stop you. Is that white Galaxy phone that was talked about earlier?
Yes. And it was the service provider through that was Sprint, and I talked with a Michelle Bursbosch, sure I pronounced that wrong, but she says that no records were found. As a regular business practice, Sprint can provide CDR for the most recent 18-month period, approximately. This includes cell site data. So those records were unobtainable because she said basically they should have been requested as soon as the phone was taken.
At some point, the cell provider deletes that data.
Yes, because everyone has a cell phone these days, and it's a lot of things.
And according to Sprint, that's about 18 months,
Yes.
right? And do you remember when Mr. Shell's cell phone was actually tested by the government?
It was well after that. I believe that the report we had said somewhere maybe 2017, I think.
2016?
2016, yes, correct.
Okay. So you weren't able to do that?
No,
Okay.
it was not in our possession.
Can you talk a little bit, in your experience in your investigation, do you know how to look up, if you were given an IP address, do you know how to look up the location of that IP address?
Yes, you just
And could
key
you tell the jury what that process is?
once you have the IP address, you just key it into Google. You can actually go to Google and put what is my IP address, and it'll bring it up, and then you just key in that IP address and it'll tell you where it's located.
And how long does that process take?
As long as it takes you to key in a code, a number.
Did you do any investigation into Ernie Shell?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Could you tell the court, just in general, and I want to start off by maybe what you found on the internet, and specifically with a website called lifeout.com.
Okay. Do you want me to tell how I became aware of Lifeout?
If you could just tell the jury the whole story about your investigation.
Okay, there was a witness in our case, and they had contacted me and told me that Ernie...
Don, may we approach?
There was a witness in their case. They had contacted me and they had told me it's hearsay.
It's
She's getting ready to
talking about
talk
the investigation, the steps that
what
led
she
up to
did.
it.
You still have to bring the people on to talk about it.
We're getting
It's
into the
hearsay.
steps that led her to the lifeout.com website. I'm not talking about the truth of the matter. I'm just saying how she discovered it. It's investigative. It is an exception to the hearsay rule.
That's not true.
It is allowed in.
There is no investigative
There was no
exception to the
investigative
hearsay
exception to
rule.
hearsay, but she, tell me where she's going, and so I can just get some context here.
Ernie Shell has a profile on a gay website, and our investigator found it. Ernie Shell denied being gay.
How can she authenticate that?
Huh?
How in the world can she authenticate that? Who knows who made the profile?
And you can question her about that all day long on your cross.
She located a website.
Yes.
All right, and
Here's all I'm saying. When investigators are brought up here, I'm just asking that they be held to the same standards as our investigators. Hearsay is not admissible unless you have an exception. You have to authenticate pieces of evidence.
I'm getting there. I'm not even introducing a piece of evidence yet. I have to build up. I have to give some context on how she found this profile.
By saying, and who'd you talk to and what'd she say? You can't.
If you want to know those specifics, I can get into
No,
that.
you were asking for those specifics.
I
but you
told her
can't
to
do
tell the
it.
story, and she got 3
Did the
sentences in,
witness
and you
testify?
objected. Huh?
Did the witness testify? I mean, she said that the witness she's referencing, did this witness testify?
I can ask.
I mean, if you
I
want
was
to-
going to ask more specifics,
If
but
you want to bypass it,
I'm
just
trying
go.
not to lead her down the road.
My question was that, is this a witness who's testified?
I can ask her.
No, you know, you've been here.
He's saying it's the girl who told her this stuff testified.
I don't even know if she said it was a girl.
She's
Hey, let's give me a direct answer.
I
Is
don't
the
know
wit-
who the witness is. She just said it was a witness.
But why is it necessary that she even says that a witness
That's what I'm
told me?
saying. She went to a website. Then I'm going to come back up here and object to authentication.
I mean, if she, this,
Well, let me continue, and if it's still objection, we can go on.
can you show the website? Is it
I
gonna
have
be-
a print off of the website.
I mean, can we pull it up and show it to the jury?
Well, I mean, can we go through authenticate? There are specific ways to authenticate websites, which they have not done anything towards that yet.
I'm not even close. I asked one question and I got objected to because he thinks he knows what I'm going to talk about. If you can read minds, let me know.
I know what he's just saying. And when she says, and she told me, that's a good time to object for hearsay.
That much
She's
is
getting-
hearsay.
she's
That
getting
much
ready
is
to say
hearsay.
Then I'm going to tell her not to tell me what other people said.
That's right.
But to
Okay.
just go through
Go
the
ahead and
investigation.
let's see where we're going.
Jessica, try not to tell me what other people said,
Okay.
okay? Because we're just focused on what the people in that
Yes,
witness
sir.
stand have said and what the evidence is here today,
Yes.
okay? So I was talking about your investigation and how you found a profile on lifeout.com,
Okay.
okay? I think I need to ask a few more questions
Okay.
in order to make sure that we are on the same page.
Okay.
You've done some research on the internet about Ernie Shell, right?
Yes, I have.
And you know the internet, I mean, we all know what the internet is. You have looked at,
no, ma'am, but you
Yes.
nodded.
Okay.
you've looked at
Yes, sir.
Facebook profiles.
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me about how many profiles and about what you do as an investigator and how that process works?
What I do as an investigator is I look at Facebook and there are multiple accounts under his name, under Ernie Shell. And on those, I go through photos, I look at comments, I look at friends, I look at places they have went, I look at things they post. A lot of people put way too much information on Facebook.
So you could see a photo from a profile of Ernie Shell,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You don't know who posted that profile.
Correct.
Do you?
No,
The only thing you can tell is that there's a Facebook page
yes,
with Ernie Shell.
yes.
So without getting into what other people have told you,
Correct.
eventually you were led to a website called lifeout.com.
Yes.
And what is that website?
It is a, I guess, kind of like a Match.com kind of thing for homosexual males.
Okay. Now, you're not a tech wizard.
No, by nowhere close to the.
So
males.
again, you don't know who created this Lifeout profile.
Correct.
But you know what your eyes can see.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about lifeout.com and Ernie Shell.
On lifeout.com, there is an account with a, I guess, profile name or username of Goodone20111. And I located this on March the 6th of 2014. And I have a photo from one of the Facebook accounts of Ernie Shell that is of Ernie Shell, and the profile picture on the Good One account is cropped, but it's obvious to anyone that it is the same exact photo.
Okay. If I can approach and get yours, and if council would come approach the judge. Can I see those two? And the profile. This is the lifeout.com profile, and this is the picture of Ernie Shell. And I was just going to show that to the jury.
To introduce photographs. There is a method for doing that under the rules of evidence, and that is that the photograph is relevant. I acknowledge that. That the witness is familiar with what is portrayed in the photograph, which when she was there, she's not. The witness is familiar with the scene at the relevant date and time, which again, if she was not there, she's not. And that the photograph fairly and accurately represents the scene of the time.
All right.
She cannot, or has not yet, authenticated these photographs.
Okay, she can say, but I think it's fair to say, so far she's testifying from personal knowledge what she saw. And I think she can testify from personal knowledge that she printed this off of Google without saying who it is or what it is or anything else. I think she can go that far. We're not offering it. It's not a photograph that purports to show anything in particular. And she's not saying it's a fair reason. Why you have to. Ordinarily, when photographs are introduced, it has to do with something, an event or a happening or something like that. And it says it's a fair and accurate representation of what it purports to be. She's not saying it purports to be anything at this point.
That would be my point, Your Honor, is that she can't. And the rules of evidence require that she do to introduce a photograph. I mean, that's just the rules.
It doesn't. She's not saying it represents anything. Unless she's saying it represents something specific, that's different.
She's saying it represents Ernie Shell and that same time. Well, saying you did it.
Right now, Ernie Shell testified, and I'm looking at a picture of a guy that looks like Ernie Shell, and it's up to the jury to decide whether or not that's Ernie Shell at this point. All right, it's admissible.
So I'm going to give it a go with some technology. And I want to make it clear, you are the one that printed off these pictures of the internet, and you're the one that looked them up.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I actually done this. We had to do a report for the COT department because we were in a meeting in London when I actually discovered this, and because it's a site of that nature, we had to do it. I had to notify my supervisor at the time, and they done whatever they done with COT to.
So the first picture I want you to put under that camera is of the one you got off of Ernie Shell's Facebook, or a Facebook that had the name Ernie Shell.
Well, setting that up, a council approach briefly. I want to clarify my ruling earlier. This is tantamount to saying I took that photograph. Not that you look at the photograph and say, is this a fair and accurate representation of what this scene was? You follow me?
That's the way I understood it.
And I think it's the same thing. It's tantamount to saying I took it, I downloaded it. That's it. Okay.
I do not feel comfortable sitting at that table with Shelby Shell directly behind me, and no one, and I don't know where to stand and not make it
Can you stand over here?
If y'all
anywhere.
I can move your camera over here.
I can see it. I just don't want it to be back there, and I don't want to make a scene with the jury. But I'm not going to sit with him behind me.
Well, just pull your